you can just relax and stop thinking, allow yourself to be exactly as you are. And when you stop thinking just for an instant, what remains? There is an intelligence, there is an alertness, there is a capacity to know. There is something that is aware of the next thought almost immediately, spontaneously arising. And in the Balanced View training, we call this intelligence open intelligence, because it's completely wide open, never constricted or constrained within any experience or any conceptual framework or definition or idea. And it's completely wide open because it allows for all of the data, all of our experience to just spontaneously arise and then naturally self-release, arising and releasing in this continuous, seamless flow of experience, this stream of data. Now, to recognize for yourself that this is the actual nature of reality, that this is the actual nature of mind, is what this training is all about. It is an education in the nature of mind. And for me, it was fascinating to discover that people had been looking into the nature of mind for thousands and thousands of years and dedicating their lives to really understanding what the mind was, how it works, and who we really are. Are we these little flesh units wandering around in these isolated, lonely existences, completely cut off from everyone and everything? Or are we actually this wide open intelligence that effortlessly contains and encompasses everything? Now, so the introduction of just stopping thinking and recognizing the intelligence that's looking through your eyes, that's hearing these words, is just the first step. Because we need to know how to access this intelligence in everyday life. We need to know how to recognize the inseparability of whatever we're experiencing from this intelligence. And the reason why this is important is because it has not been the case up until now. So practically what that means is that we've been behaving and relating and acting in the world as if all of our data, all of our thoughts, emotions and sensations, all of our experiences had an independent nature, somehow separate and apart from the intelligence by which they were known. And what this has led to some very strange behaviour. And I can look at the example of romantic love and falling in love and everything that I was taught about that. And it's interesting to see just how ingrained all of the ideas around romantic love are, and how from a very young age that idea, that fairy story of the prince and the princess living happily ever after, that was probably the first catchphrase I ever learned, and they lived happily ever after, and it was always the prince and the princess, and I heard that for year after year as I was growing up. When we watch our Hollywood movies, whatever happens in the movie, whatever disaster or challenge or situation is in, at some point there'll be the redemption, and the hero and the heroine will get together and they'll solve the crisis and the problem and save the earth, or stand up for what needs to be stood up for, and then they'll walk off hand in hand into the sunset and live happily ever after. And so there's all of this education that we receive in the nature of who we are and in the nature of what will make us happy, where we'll find that sense of completeness, where we'll find that sense of just being completely comfortable with who we are. And we're led to believe that that is to be found in this romantic relationship. So my experience of romantic relationships was, it was amazing to fall in love with somebody. it was just incredible. And again, it was that sense of just opening up. And I can remember falling in love, and suddenly all of the other people that had really been pissing me off and were just so irritating with all the things they did and said and the way they stood and, the clothes they wore, and I loved them all. I wasn't just in love with my incredible new partner, but I loved everybody, and you could walk along and you could just smile at everybody, because you're in love, and that was wonderful, that feeling, and that lasted for it varied. It was a couple of months was probably average, and then I can remember clearly turning around one day and thinking to myself, what has happened? Because this woman that was obviously the one, like obviously, there wasn't any doubt about it, is actually quite irritating. How did that happen? I thought we actually did walk off into the sunset hand in hand on the beach, and loving everybody, and we were meant to live happily ever after. That's what was meant to happen, wasn't it? And that was never my experience for anything other than a very short period of time. And to see that I had been taught that my happiness, my sense of ease and my sense of well-being lay in any particular set of descriptions is just a misunderstanding. And I was also taught that all of these other things that I needed to make myself happy. I needed to have really good physical health. And it's been fascinating to begin to apply the 4 mainstays to things like physical well-being and physical pain and physical discomfort. So the first of the mainstays is to take short moments of allowing the data just to be exactly as it is and to recognize open intelligence like we just did. To take short moments of recognizing open intelligence repeated many times until it is obvious at all times. Now that's such a simple instruction, but to actually apply it with all of the incredible variety of data and experience that we have is key. To take short moments of allowing yourself to feel everything that you're feeling right now, with whatever's going on for you, and then to repeat that whenever you naturally remember, in a completely relaxed way, actually empowers the recognition of open intelligence as being inseparable from all data. So you can apply short moments when you're feeling happy and in love, and recognize that that too is the shine of open intelligence. You can take short moments when you're feeling lonely and pissed off and disillusioned, and discover for yourself that that too is the dynamic energy, the shine of open intelligence and nothing else. And it also self-releases naturally. The only way that we seem to have a trouble or a problem with our data, with our experience, is when we try to make something out of it. And the way that we usually do that is indulging, avoiding, or replacing it. And one of the most common forms of indulging data is to spin off into a huge big story about it. So this feeling of loneliness comes up. And I have a choice right there. I can go with the conventional training of what I do with that thought or that feeling, which is to try and work out why it's there, perhaps. And that leads to this indulgence of it. So why am I feeling lonely? Oh God, it's because I've just finished my relationship, or I haven't been in a relationship for 3 years, that's why I'm lonely. Oh God, I need to be in a relationship. I need to fall in love again, that's the solution. And so we try that for a few times, and after a while it seems, well, I'm just repeating this same pattern. This isn't giving me what I was told it was, what I was told it was going to give me. I can avoid this feeling of loneliness. So a really common way to avoid feelings of loneliness for me was to go and be really sociable, go and surround myself with lots of people. That's then I'll get rid of it. It'll go because I'll be surrounded with lots of people. But at one point, it hit me, being in a crowd of people, that were my friends, and just feeling desperately lonely. Like nobody there actually knew me. Nobody understood me. Nobody knew what was going on for me, even though I shouldn't feel lonely here. So that was a real insight. And so then the third common option, so we've had avoid or indulge, and then replace. So after a little while where we get a bit more understanding about the way that our mind works, and we have some kind of knowledge there, we actually discover that we can change the way that we think and feel. You can do things that kind of make you happy, and you can try and replace that feeling of loneliness with one of happiness. And it does work to a certain degree. Or you can try and numb it as well. There are various ways that you can numb your experience. And perhaps I don't need to go into the details, but some of you are probably familiar with what those are. But any of these approaches, although they provide a temporary solution and temporary relief, never actually lead to a lasting solution. Because no matter how hard you numb or you avoid or you spin off into this story about it or you replace it with something different, it always comes back. And it comes back worse. And after a while, the desperation of the recognition that these measures really don't work can be a place of real, of complete desperation, if you like. Because, well, what do I do? All of the things that I was told were going to make me feel like I was a success, like life was worth living, I'm just seeing through them now. And so this is why the support is required. So the practice of short moments leads to more and more insight into the nature of reality and into all of these belief systems that we've adopted and really believe to be true and allow to have this power and influence over us. So the support is absolutely essential, and I'm speaking from my own personal experience there. So the support of having a written training and a whole wealth of media freely available on the website that I can download and listen to and take with me wherever I am. And this allows me to participate in my own education in the nature of mind, having access to talks and to texts that will only point me back again and again, unerringly, to the actual nature of reality, the actual nature of mind, and nothing else, not complicating it, not oversimplifying it, not dressing it up in lots of cultural language or traditions or customs, but actually just stating things exactly as they are again and again and again. And I know for myself that every time I have this recognition of the inseparability of everything, every time I relax and allow myself to be exactly as I am, it's just like the first time. It's just always new, and it's always like, wow, this is incredible. And it's like, it just continues on like that. And it means that my shopping expeditions now are just full of the same bliss that I thought only happened when I was in bed with someone wonderful or at the greatest party ever. And now it's there when I'm shopping in Morrison's or, it's the same, just total enjoyment of everything exactly as it is. Not looking for something else to give me something extra, something that was always just in the future. If only I had a bit more money, or if only I was a bit healthier, or I had a bit more knowledge or experience, or just allowing myself to be exactly as I am. And so there are these texts, there are books that you can download online and spend as much time with as you like. There are written trainings that you can participate in, and we have one a one-day introductory training after this open meeting, if that's something you're interested in. Then there is the worldwide community. The worldwide community of people all around the world that are making this choice about how they're going to live their life. So I came across this training and very quickly I saw these results in myself, in my own life. You know, like incredible results. Habits and things that I'd been doing for decades just dropped away. I stopped smoking without even thinking about it. No struggle at all. It was amazing. I discovered more and more spaciousness and ease in my relationship with myself and in my relationship with so many other people, with my friends and my family. The people that I loved the most had been the ones that had pushed my buttons the most. And suddenly there was this ability to be there with all of that button pushing, to remain open-hearted, to demonstrate what it meant to be open intelligence.